Thank you for joining us at xm.com. For this preview video, we'll be taking a closer look at Eurozone PMIs coming up this week. Recently, we got some disappointing data from Germany indicating that the Eurozone's largest economy might be slowing down. I'm Christina Marujos. With me today is Achilleas Georgolopoulos, investment analyst. Achilleas, the European Central Bank is widely expected to raise rates again in June. However, how could the PMIs out tomorrow potentially affect the central bank's monetary policy moving forward?
Good morning, Christina. Yes, to our understanding, the ECB is essentially on a preset course. Barring something major, obviously on the negative side, they will continue raising rates and they will do another 25 basis points at the June meeting. The market, which is very important for the ECB, seems convinced about the next move, and so are the so-called professional forecasters. Essentially, analysts from investment banks. They are on board with that rate hike, so the ECB seems to be happy about the current situation. It feels that this is the path of least resistance. Now, this week we get good data. So we get the PMIs, we get something more from Germany, which is the IFO survey, which is very important for Germany. The understanding we have is that if we don't get a major disappointment or a massive surprise, then the ECB outlook, of course, for the June meeting and looking forward will not be affected. Now, if we get the PMIs being very weak, and when we mean weak, we mean the manufacturing sector PMI below 40 or very close to 40, then there will be second guessing from the market about whether the ECB is going to do the June meeting, which is probably more or less said, but it will raise questions. And then what will happen for the rest of 2023? The market is looking for a total of 58 basis points of rate hike this year, which is sizable. However, if we get a disappointment, that number will go down. Of course, the ECB doves, who have been less vocal than widely expected, they don't like the recent rate hike. So bad data, really bad data, will allow them to come forward, be a bit more vocal, and essentially try to find and convince other members of the ECB who are more balanced in order to stop the rate hikes. So it's important from that side. On the other hand, if we get massive numbers, for example, PMIs above 48 or 49, still shrinking, still essentially signaling that the manufacturing sector is shrinking, but very close to the 50 threshold, then there could be a chance that the market and potentially the ECB hawks will talk about a 50 basis points at the June meeting. This seems a bit far-fetched because the ECB does not really like to stop and go, so do 25 basis points, then do 50, and then move back to 25 basis points. But it will be important, again, looking forward. So what will happen after the June meeting? So to sum up, we get decent numbers or slightly weak. The market will probably try to ignore them because nothing will change materially. We get a massive surprise or a massive disappointment, then the market will be essentially raising questions and concern, if the numbers are negative, about the outlook, about essentially what will happen for the rest of 2023.
I see. Let's turn to the market reaction now. The euro has been under pressure recently, especially against the pound. What should euro traders anticipate this week?
Yes, the euro has been having, let's say, a tough period, especially versus the pound and the dollar the last 2.5 months. We focusing on the euro-pound pair since the early February high, it's been essentially recording losses. This is understandable. There are a number of reasons. One of them is the weaker data, especially from Germany that you mentioned earlier. But also, we do have a seasonality analysis, which essentially tends to look at what happened the last few years, every May in this pair. And this is essentially, it has identified that euro tends to underperform the pound in May. So for these reasons and a number of others, of course, the euro has been having a bad month up to now. if we get a good set of data, and the Euro bulls would definitely like that, then we could see the euro essentially climbing above 0.8721. This is the lower boundary of a pattern we identified earlier this month, and it will be important for the euro bulls to essentially push it back inside this pattern. That will mean that the recent move essentially has been negated, so we'll go back to square one. On the other hand, of course, the euro bears would love another correction lower. They tried and they broke below the aforementioned pattern. However, the move lower has not been significant. So they essentially want, or very keen on, getting weak numbers and then pushing euro pound more aggressively towards the 0.8635 area.
Achilles, thanks so much. This was a preview video here at xm.com.